month is it? What day is
I
it?
know. And we're live.
We're live.
Hi,
Yay.
Megan.
Hi, how are
Happy
you?
June. I'm good. Happy Pride Month.
Thank you so much. I love Pride
You
Month.
do anything exciting?
No,
Did you go to like a march or anything? Or
no, I
parade or?
didn't. Since I've lived here near Baltimore, I have not been to Pride at all. And that needs to
Yeah,
change. But I have anxiety, about going to like big events. When I was
sure.
younger, I went to Long Beach and LA and San Diego Pride, and it was
Yeah.
fun, but now it's a little harder for me to go now.
It's stressful. I don't like events like that, like in big arenas and stuff. It freaks me out. All I think about is if there's a natural disaster, we are all going to die. Like I sit there thinking about that and I'm like, this is ruining my fun, because
It is.
who wants to be like that, so fatalistic? But we actually got tickets. I've been into it my whole life. And I think we were kind of talking about this on our last thing, but I got tickets to see Tyler Henry. He's a medium.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to see him and we are like in the
How
second
exciting.
row.
Oh
And I'm
my,
like, I hope he picks me. I hope he picks me. But
that
we'll
is so
see.
cool.
Yeah, in August, like the end of August. So the tickets were stupid expensive, but it's our 30th wedding anniversary. And I was like, let's just do it, and so
Yeah. How fun.
that, yeah, I cannot wait. I'm so excited, but we'll see how it goes, if because he does read people from the audience.
Yeah. Oh,
So
I've always wanted to do something like that. I've talked to mediums on the phone, but I've never been to like an in-person.
yeah, I would love to have a reading from him or John Edward, but probably no one else because I feel like they are the real deal.
Yeah.
Even that Teresa Caputo, I think she's a little, I get a funny vibe from her. She might be faking it.
Yeah. I've watched her show a lot, but I don't know if I would trust her either.
She just does a lot of generalizations and just does the constant, do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like I
Mhm.
can apply that to anything. I need details, lady.
Yeah.
So, but these two guys, they give details. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. He's the one, Tyler Henry is the one that does that Hollywood Medium
Uh-huh.
show on E. So, anyway. Anyway, so I got a new little thing we're going to do today. So when our
Oh
guest comes
yeah.
on, I have some questions just to get started. Like one question, we'll pull it out just at random and kick
I'm
off
so
that way,
excited for
kind
that.
of like, instead of me digging into their personal lives or whatever, like I normally do. So yeah, yeah. It was 98 degrees here today.
It was 100 degrees here today.
Wow.
It's terrible. It's still terrible right now. I hate it.
Yeah, and it's supposed to go back down. We have like a couple days of super hot and then it'll cool back down to like what it's normally supposed to be. But
Yeah.
it's funny, like literally the day it turns summer, poof.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. What else is going on since I saw you last month? I don't trying to think if I have anything.
Well, you've been watching TV. That's exciting to me because I love TV.
I know. But the things I picked to watch are so bizarre. I'm fully hooked on this show called Couples Therapy. And it's literally people in therapy. They're sitting
Oh,
there
didn't
in
I?
therapy.
I
And
think I watched that.
I'm fascinated. I'm just fascinated. I've always been super interested in like human behavior and
Yeah.
the way people communicate with one another. And of course, if you can pick anything up, like a better way to get a point across or whatever, because people have roadblocks. I mean, it
Yeah.
all seems to come down to childhood trauma, like everything. If you have trauma in your life from early age, you are carrying that shit with you in everything you do. It literally informs everything you do for the rest of your life. And it's so scary. As scary as a parent, I mean, it's already too late. If my kid has trauma, he has trauma. That happened.
Oh
But,
gosh. Yeah.
you know, it's, I think if I knew all of that before I had kids, I maybe not would do it because he'd be so afraid of fucking him up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's scary. I
obviously
can't imagine
some
being a
people
parent.
some people have like bigger trauma that has nothing to do with their parents, the outside, influence and people and bad shit, but man, I don't know. So it just fascinates
Hi,
me to see how people get through their day.
hi, Tina. Yes, we can see you. Tina just said, "Hi, ladies. Can you see me?" Oh, and Miranda commented, "Megan Ashley is a Smith. I changed my last name.
Ah,
So
congratulations.
my name is now like the most generic name in the world, Megan Ashley
Megan.
Smith."
Yeah. And Megan isn't generic,
Oh my gosh, there was always 10 Megans every in all of my classes.
right? And then how do you spell it? Because
Yeah.
people spell it differently, with the H in there. And yeah, no, never, Shannon was never, I just said my real name. That's awesome. It's never been a real popular name though, even when I was in high school. I think there was like two others. That's it. But
Well, now I want to go back and watch couples therapy again. I remember, I
yeah,
think Miranda will comment. I think this is what we watched. It was like a real therapist, and she was like this really little like Latin lady or something. There was a one of them was like that, and then they had all the couples coming in, and they would like follow them throughout the season, and then
yeah,
the next
yeah,
time there was a different
yeah.
therapist thing.
This
Yeah.
lady, I don't think she's Latina. I think she is like Eastern European,
Oh,
something like
I'm thinking like
Russian or Czech or something.
yes,
You know what I mean? She has a slight little accent, and she's a dog, a husky, little husky.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her name's
Yeah, I
Orna.
remember that.
The therapist is Orna something, but sorry, this
Yes,
is,
that's right. And I remember I looked up her website. Okay,
yeah.
but if anyone here is a Bridgerton fan, I'm trying to get Victoria to watch Bridgerton
Yeah,
after this. It's so good. I wasn't sure that I would like it. So every time people would say, "Oh, you should watch it," I'm like, "Oh, I don't really know like historical romance. I'm not sure if that's like really my thing." And
yeah,
it's so good. It's just, and even Miranda, I thought more so than me wouldn't like it. She
right.
loves it.
Are you on season one or are you caught all the way up?
We just started, so we watched the first two, and now we're on Queen Charlotte because that's the order I've been told to watch it, and then we're gonna start season three. But it's so good.
Yeah.
It's just
The
like,
well, that Shonda Rhimes, she's magical. Like
yeah,
every show she makes is a hook. So, you're already batting 1,000 with her on board. But
yeah.
I saw, I'm trying to think who was watching it. It probably was Angel because that's who I spend most of my travel time with. And
Uh-huh.
I was with somebody in a hotel room and they were like, oh my gosh, I have to see Bridgerton. And so I saw like an episode of it and it was fantastic. Like
Yeah.
I left there wanting to know, okay, what happened there? Because, oh my God, the heat between these two. This was the first season and it
Yes.
was that black
Cute.
man.
Yes.
Jesus God, that's a sexy man.
Yes, Miranda and I were both like, okay.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, he's got it going on.
Okay, Tina said, I seen someone said it really doesn't follow the books. And that is one thing I will say. I haven't read the books, but I've been looking at a lot of Bridgerton content, and people complain that they don't really follow the books. And other people complain that it's not really historically accurate. And then other people are saying, well, it's like a fantasy, so it's not going to be
Right,
accurate. So if you
right.
love the books, I'm not sure that you will love the show. But I mean, I know it's very popular, but I don't know. I haven't read the book.
Yeah, maybe just going into it thinking this is just entertainment. It doesn't have to be the exact same as the book. It's hard though because like when I was super into Twilight, when they strayed from the book, it really upset me. I was like, this is not true to the story. And they didn't go like in crazy different directions like they did with True Blood because True Blood, that was a series on HBO, which I did watch, but stopped watching it in I don't know how many seasons in because that was on these books called Sookie Stackhouse.
Uh-huh.
And it's like 13 books in this series. It was so good. And then True Blood, it started out just like it. And by maybe the fifth episode, it was like watching something completely different. And
Mhm.
they had to adapt it for TV so it would be appealing on screen. It's a different, from a writer's perspective, it is a whole different writing style. And things you have to take into account and everything. And I've never written a screenplay, but I understand, you know, the difference between the book and screenplay is so different.
Yeah.
Plus, if you wrote a screenplay to follow a book exactly, the show would be like 18 years long.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, to get every single scene and every detail and so
Yeah.
I don't know. So I am listening right now to Sierra Simone's gosh, I'm just gonna look what it's called because it's so good. Honeycut, it's called, and it's in
Uh-huh.
that Salt Kiss series or something. Oh, it's actually, I think it's called after the club they're all a part of. But oh, Lioness. That's what it is. It's like the Lioness series. She is a fucking genius, that woman. I can't, every time I listen to a book by her, I'm just like, I am not worthy. I am not worthy. This is so good. So good. And the way she puts words together, it's like, what, how did you think of that? Like, I don't know, it makes me want to, like, when I sit down to write, try harder, do better, you know, like,
She's like
so
a inspiration. That's
for
good.
sure. Yeah, for sure.
That's good. I still have Priest on my Kindle and I have not read it.
God, you got to listen to those. They are so good in audio. It just, I don't know. Y'all have heard me talk about that too many times now, but if you ever want to hear a good book, it's that one. That whole series. It's outstanding.
I always
And
tell
and she
I'm
does
gonna
not stray away from anything. There is no taboo subject in that woman's mind. You know, like there is LGBT stuff like everywhere. It's just it touches on everything. And so trauma, you know, like she's all into it. So it's a very fulfilling experience when you have a book of hers, I think.
I always tell Amy I'm gonna try audiobooks again because the only ones I've ever listened to were yours
Yeah.
when I used to drive a lot. And
Yeah.
I really enjoyed them. But now that I'm not driving, it's hard for me to pay attention. So
Yeah.
I want to
I
like
agree.
audiobooks more than I do.
It's harder when you don't have like designated alone time, you know,
Yeah.
because now that I have those Dave piercings, these guys, I cannot put earbuds in. And so it hurts, you know, it ends up making the piercing sore. And so I don't really have that privacy, you know, to have those on. So I really only listen when I'm alone or driving. And
Yeah.
you know, because I don't want people hearing what's good because I mean her books, man, it's very sexually oriented.
Yeah.
So I don't need, you know, Ivy's nurse hearing that while I'm walking around.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
well, it's already 9:15 or
All
6
right.
for you. So
Yeah.
I'm going to introduce the author, but this happens
Oh,
every month. I always get on
I
too
know.
late with you.
We
I'm
said we're gonna
sorry.
get on earlier. Yeah.
And I never do. Well, Bridgerton took up all my time. Okay. Tonight's author is a New York Times, USA Today, and #1 Wall Street Journal bestselling author of contemporary romance. She grew up in Boston with 5 older brothers and spent most of her 20s as a television news anchor. She resides in Rhode Island with her husband, son, and beautiful daughter with autism. With millions of books sold, she is a 21-time New York Times bestseller and the author of over 40 books. Her novels have been translated into over a dozen languages and can be found in bookstores around the world. Please welcome Penelope Ward.
Ah, nice. She kind of looks like Alanis Morissette here in this picture. Do you see the picture?
Yes.
I'm having a
Still
hot flash.
acting.
Penelope, there she comes.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
You hear me?
Whoa, I see you. You're gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. I had a little bit of a technical delay there, but
Oh, that's all right.
I've just been
How are you?
good. I've just been listening to you guys chat on my phone, and I didn't want to
Yeah.
be caught off guard about when I'd popped up. So
Yeah. Well, it's so nice to meet you. I've never met you in real life.
I know I've never met you too, Victoria. Very nice to meet you, and you too, Megan.
We're
Nice to
making
meet
new
you. I already
friends.
muted myself. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
So I thought we would try, I'm going to try something different this time because normally I just start digging into people's personal lives and just
Okay.
getting at it. But I have some like icebreaker questions, and
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pick one for you. So
Okay.
it'll give us something to get to know each other a little bit by. Let's see
Okay.
what you got.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
If you could make an office rule that everyone had to follow for a day, what would it be?
An office rule that everyone had to follow for a day. Oh man. Um, I guess I would suggest that they enjoy some silence and allow me to think in peace because
Mm.
the house is always noisy.
Yeah.
I guess a good office rule would be to just learn to sit in silence with whatever that brings you, whether it helps my imagination
I gotta tell
work.
you, my husband did this speech to a bunch of engineers at Tesla,
Uh-huh.
and it was a massive, massive open room. Like he said hundreds of desks. They're all lined up. It looks like something out of some kind of crazy movie, right? And they're all sitting there in silence.
Yeah,
He's like, I've never seen anything like it.
that's me.
It was unbelievable. It was almost like out of some like dystopian,
Yeah, yeah, that is
like do not speak, get your work done kind of,
right. Yeah, that is
It's
weird.
interesting. Yeah. Do you work better in a silent environment, like when
Yeah,
you're creative?
I'm not one of those authors that can even listen to music, really.
Awesome.
Everything distracts me. Um, really love pure silence. And unfortunately, my neighborhood, even though it's like a suburban neighborhood, it's not like I live in the middle of the city or anything. Someone is always doing their lawn or
Mowing their damn lawn, right?
yeah, like there's always some machinery outside.
Right.
So it's like I do appreciate just complete silence, and I very rarely get complete silence. So I do have noise cancellation headphones.
Right. I have I love driving. I have a car that I adore, and my husband's always like, how's the stereo in that? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't play it.
Mm,
I love quiet in the car. I
yeah.
love it. It's like this little capsule you get in. And I remember when my kids were little, oh, getting in the car, it was like torture chamber.
Yeah, I'm sure you get a lot of good ideas when you're just driving in silence too,
I
right?
do driving because, California freeways are extensive and a little crazy. And for some reason, it really gets the creative juices going. The freeway and the shower for me are like the places.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I
So I don't know.
agree.
I don't know. So tell me, you've got a kiddo with autism.
I do. She's actually 20 now, almost 20. But yeah, she was diagnosed when she was 2.5. I mean, she's very moderately impacted. She doesn't really converse. She's able to ask for whatever she wants, and she's really great with like technology. She can like look up whatever she wants online and stuff like that, but she can't carry a conversation. It's all very bizarre how the brain works.
It is. It's a very, I think, probably frustrating
Hmm.
diagnosis. I have
Very.
a 27-year-old severely disabled daughter.
Okay.
She has a genetic disorder called partial trisomy 10q, but
Oh,
she is
wow.
also nonverbal and non-ambulatory and, doesn't eat food in her mouth. And the list goes on and on. But I'm with you there on that part of your life,
Wow. Yeah,
living
that's
it.
a big challenge. It's every child, every parent of a child with special needs has their own unique challenges for
Right,
sure.
right.
Oh, yeah.
So
So yeah,
interesting.
she's almost 20. She'll be 20 in October.
Mine is 27, and I can't even believe it because we
Yeah.
were told when she was born that she wouldn't make it through the night because they thought she had trisomy 13, and they
Yeah.
said in their very doctor-esque ways that it's incompatible with life. That's how they phrased it to us. And so we basically thought, this is it. We're not even going to take this baby home. And she's 27.
How incredible.
Yeah.
That is
So
amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
she is a warrior. She's got the strongest personality and it's crazy the shit she overcomes. It makes me
Uh-huh.
definitely every day like keep my own head out of my ass, like
Oh, yeah. It
get
changes you.
over yourself and deal with it because you don't even know, right?
Changes you. And if I don't know if you have other kids, but my son has become like a massively empathetic person because of his
Yes.
sister.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's always coming up to me and saying, your son is so nice. He's so good with my people that don't even realize he has an autistic sister sometimes.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's almost, I know it's a burden to, I also have a son, he's 24, so they're 4 years apart. Well, he's 23. And so he grew up, with that. And he
Yeah.
is such a good human being
Mhm.
and kind and patient. And like you're saying, compassionate. I think my son is actually like not just empathetic, but he is an empath. And
Mhm.
so it's actually a detriment, because he really takes on everyone else's emotion.
Yeah.
So he's had to learn how to separate himself from that because it really can, you know, disrupt your daily life when you're feeling everyone else around you. But I think that's just him. That's not part of being, in a special family, but
Right.
definitely, definitely has changed us all. I'd say mostly for the better.
Yeah. Yeah.
It gives you a peek at humanity that you don't always want to see.
Yeah. Mhm.
The way people react to
Oh,
you in
absolutely.
public and,
And I don't even realize it half the time. Like I'm so used to it.
yeah, you're
I
over
think
it.
I just am immune to anything, any of the stares or anything. I'm just immune to it now. It's just been so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah. I hear you. But it's interesting. Do you ever have an opportunity to like not mentor, but give advice to anyone, younger moms like that are
Yeah.
just
I do at times. People will put like people in touch with me and stuff because they know I've been around for a while with a child with special needs. And, people that are just entering the school system, teachers will contact me and say, I have this parent, do you mind talking to them? So yeah, it does happen from time to time. And I always just tell them that it will get easier. That's always my advice. It will get easier. Take it day by day. Try not to worry too much about the future. Just literally take it day by day. And one day you'll get to the point where it's not as that initial devastating shock when you're first dealing with something.
right, right,
You're still processing it almost for like years. And when your child is younger, there's just so much uncertainty for the future. But if you just take it day by day, it's really the only thing you can do.
right. I think that's really good advice.
Yeah.
Really good advice. I have to say though, the one of the best things was when we got out of the school system. Like that always was such a stressor for me, and I knew she needed to be, yeah, obviously they had to do what they could do and stuff, but it was never good. It was never, she didn't want to be there. She would self-harm. It just, oh, it was brutal, and so I
Yeah.
was so glad when we aged out of that part of
Mhm.
the
Yeah, we
system,
got very lucky because we had her in the public schools until a certain age, and then we switched her to a school for kids with autism specifically, which was a lot better of a fit. So I'm
Mhm.
really happy with where she is now, and she does get to stay till she's 22 by law. So she'll be there for a
Right.
couple more years, and then it will be just sort of about figuring out what to do with her as an adult.
Right. Here in California, then you go into adult program with it's like a regional, they call it a regional center. So it's like a private company, but funded by the state, and then they do job coaching and stuff like that. But, that just wasn't something that we would benefit from because she's not going to be
Yeah,
independent in that way. So it was just like, we are out of here. I'm done with this.
yeah,
Yeah. Those
yeah.
IEPs and stuff. Oh
Oh
my
yeah,
God.
very stressful.
Yeah, very stressful. Like you feel like, why am I having to fight all the time for what you should just be doing, right?
Mhm. Right, I know.
So anyway, so let's talk about books. This is the people might be like, okay, enough with the kids. I mean, it's such a huge part of my life and obviously yours too. So
Yeah,
it's rare I get to talk to another author that
you're
really knows
right.
what I'm talking about.
Exactly. I get it. Yep.
Yeah. So let me see. What do you got going on right now? What are you working on?
So I have a book coming out in August that I haven't announced yet. I pretty much write a couple of solo books per year. I always release in August and I always release in February. And so I have a summer book coming, which I always typically announce about a month before. So it's a forbidden romance. I haven't announced it yet. That's in editing right now. And so I'm always working on something and generally takes me about 6 months to put it out.
Right.
So that's where I am right now. I'm in the editing phase.
I just got out of that with one, so It was actually, I actually had someone else because the editor came back and he's like, there were no comments. I mean, there was like line edits, but nothing like about exposition. And I'm like, did you miss some pages? I mean, what's going on? And so I had my old writing partner. I'm like, can you read this and give me some feedback? And she's like,
Yeah.
this is the best thing you've ever written. No wonder you didn't have any comments. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm like,
Perfect.
wow.
Hey, I'll take
Wow.
if it's genuine, no
Yeah.
feedback, then I will take that.
Yeah. No, I trust her completely because
Yeah.
we wrote together for so many years and just, we've seen each other's dark sides. When you,
Yeah, that's great to have somebody that you can trust like that.
yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Well, that is all exciting. I don't, Megan, do we have any questions from the audience? What is there's something smoking. So unless it's incense. Oh no, it's the cat. Never mind.
Oh
I thought there
yeah,
was
I was
smoke.
like, wait a
It freaked
minute.
me out.
Where? Whose
Like
cat?
something's on fire.
On mine?
Yeah, moving behind you.
Yeah,
Your
but it's
cat?
your cat.
Yeah,
Oh,
it looked like smoke.
I just saw the white.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh. That's funny. Okay. This kind of goes with the mandatory question from before. If
Yeah.
you could choose one book as a mandatory read for all high school students, which book would you choose?
Oh my gosh, high school
Wow.
students.
Yeah.
Um, but okay, I don't know if this is going to be over their head, but I would say The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. You know that book? Like just
Yeah.
a book that can get people in a headspace where they realize that so many of the things that they worry about, and I think especially at that age too, realizing that so many of the things that you worry about it's just a total futile waste of your energy. Something I'm still having to learn in my 40s, but I think the book that like helps people become grounded and realize that so much of what stresses them is sort of almost self-made.
Right. Right. Gosh, isn't that the truth? I
Yeah.
cannot even come up with an answer to that, honestly. I don't know. I mean, because
Yeah.
my mind is going to the class, more of the classics and, things that we read and what did I get the most out of? And I remember a couple of them were, to me, even at that age, fantastic. So I don't want to see those be removed from the curriculum. But do you remember that book, Johnny Tremaine?
I
It
don't
was
remember.
like Civil War. It was good. It was darn good, but and that's the one that comes to my mind. So I don't know. There's so many Scarlet Letter. I mean, you could just think of all those things you had to read. They're American classics for a reason, right? So I think just in that sense, we have to hold on to our history, our own history.
One of the only books I remember reading was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh yeah.
And then I remember watching it, and I just think like, would that be allowed now? I'm not sure.
Yeah. That has a rape scene in it? No, I'm thinking about
Yeah.
Clockwork Orange is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I wonder if that would be allowed now.
Yeah.
I don't know,
It's
but
hard to say. So many things have changed since I was in high school 800 years ago.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it had an impact on me. I really liked it, but I really like your answer, Penelope, about it's the power of now, right? I think
Yeah, you can see
that
like
was,
my like head went in a totally different direction. But yeah, I think it's called The Power of Now.
I think that's such a great book because I didn't start reading books like that until like my early 30s.
Right.
And I think that would make such a big difference for people if, that was like required reading because they just don't seem appealing to you when you're 18 years old.
Right.
That's what I'm wondering, would that resonate with a teenager? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. I feel like that in that stage of your life, you're always just you're go, go,
Nothing
go.
gets
You're not really thinking about
nothing.
anything you're doing there, thinking about
And no
anything.
matter what anyone tells you, you think you got it all figured out and you don't understand what it's like. And it's like, actually, I do, but I
Worrying
cannot
about
get you
so many
to it.
ridiculous things back then, that if when you're older, you think back and oh my gosh,
I
right?
remember with my son, him going through, a difficult time and he was really like, what is all this for? And da da da. And I kept saying, and I was so frustrated, like heartbrokenly frustrated to say, you don't know what you have ahead. Their whole world and your whole life is ahead of you. Don't think of this is it. This is not it. There's so much more. Like you can't even fathom how much is ahead of you, but it's just not something you can put in someone else's head, that
Right.
understanding and like, I
Very
don't
few,
know.
yeah, you can't, they won't believe it. They won't get it until they get it
Right.
when they're older. It's just the way it works.
That suck. I mean, so much about appreciating life, um, probably taking the most from any experience, it's perspective. And you don't have that perspective until you've been through it. It's
Yep.
like this unfair, like life's little joke. Haha. If only you knew,
Yeah,
and you think, okay, so for next time I'll know better. And you still don't.
right.
Never gets better.
Okay, where do you find inspiration? And it doesn't mention for books, so just where do you find inspiration in general for both of you?
That's the hardest question for some reason for me to answer, because even just when I started writing, I don't know where everything came from. I don't know. I have so many things in my head and I don't really know where they come from. It's such sort of bizarre. People ask me like, what inspires you to write? I'm like, I don't really know what inspires me. Like now I can say that what keeps me going is knowing that I have people actually reading it and like anticipating that they're looking forward to stuff from me. But in terms of like what like inspires my stories and what brings the creativity to me, I feel like it's something from very outside of myself almost, that if I just have the quiet and the peace, it just comes to me. So like what inspires me to like keep going like from a conscious standpoint is like my readers and like knowing people are looking forward to what I'm putting out. But then like what
Right.
actually helps me write, I feel like I don't even know how to explain it.
Right.
And
Yeah. I don't know. I usually get definitely motivated, like you're saying, by readers' excitement and that feedback. Like there is nothing better than when you release a book and you get the feedback of, that people enjoy it, that it resonates with people, like, oh, this story reminds me of me or whatever, some part of their own life. And so definitely I agree with you on the motivation, to get back in the chair is knowing that people are enjoying it. But I feel like I get like ideas from just life, like a little thread will come at me from something, an experience or something I see or whatever. And then it's just my imagination. It just, takes off with it. Or you wonder what got that person to that point. Like that I do a lot. Like if I'm people watching, I'm just wondering, how did they get there to that moment? So
yeah,
just like reading people's backstories all the time.
yeah. So yeah, sometimes real life can inspire something. That's true. Um, and then usually your imagination takes off.
Right.
Sometimes another direction even, but something will spark
Sometimes
that.
it doesn't, and I sit and stare at the little
Yeah.
cursor on the screen.
That
And
happens too, all too often.
I actually have gotten to a point where I know this is not a good writing day. I'm not even going to sit down and torture myself. Like I know when I'm going to be productive and when I'm not. So
Yeah,
it's like,
you can feel
why?
it. You
Yeah.
can feel it. It's just like a feeling for sure.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay, for both of you, what impact do you want to leave on the world?
Hmm.
These questions today are so profound.
Yeah, it's true.
What impact do I want to
I
leave on
mean,
the world?
with me, I've often thought about the fact that no matter what now, like I have left an impact. Like I have these books that are out there and they will always be out there, hopefully, unless something changes with like, I don't know, the infrastructure of
Right.
self-publishing. But I feel like, it is kind of cool that they will go on and that people hopefully for years to come will be able to pick up one of my books and forget about their troubles. I mean, that I think is the biggest value of an author, is that you're able to create an escape for people. I think
Right.
that's how we basically provide a service to the world.
Right. It's a neat way to look at it, providing that service. It's true. I think the impact I would like to leave on the world is in whatever small way I can, that people are kinder by my example.
Yeah.
Because I truly try to be kind to people and just to strangers and, for no reason, like no payback to myself, just, I don't know, constantly reminding people that kindness costs $0. just there's no reason not to be nice to one another. So we definitely say that.
That's great. That's exactly right.
I love that. Okay, hold on. I just had this one. Um, which character of yours is your favorite that you've ever written?
Hmm. I have a female character who just is just very I liked her because she was real. She had a lot of insecurities. She was also a belly dancer, and she just was very unique. And her name is Rana. She was from a book I wrote called Drunk Dial. I just liked her because of her imperfections, because she wasn't perfect. And the belly dancer thing is just a side point. It just made her like different. So she was one of my favorite characters, but so many of them all blend together at this point after 40 books. It's hard to choose one. But
Right.
she's the one that stuck out to me.
Do you have belly dancing experience?
No, I envisioned her as a belly dancer. And it just made for some interesting parts of the book. But I had to give her an occupation, and I thought she'd be perfect, the perfect belly dancer. So I have never belly danced
Yeah,
myself.
nice. I would say my answer, I've answered this before, I think is probably Rio and now Shepherd, because and Shepherd's book will be out in September. But I love same thing. I love an authentic character, and I love focusing on mental health struggles because it's been in my own personal life. And it does affect romance, it does affect your love life, so I like those two girls because they've got some pretty big issues, and they get through it and they find mates that think they're worthy to love, and that's awesome.
Yeah. So many people can relate to when they're
Right.
reading.
Right. And I hope all I can do is hope that I do it justice, because they're not things I suffer from personally, but I dig in and I try to, research, and if I can get to in someone's head that really is struggling with similar situations, and just try to be authentic in the way I write them.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say Rio and Agatha for me for your
Yeah.
books, but
Yeah.
I can't.
Agatha was a lot of fun too. That book for some reason was so effortless to write, and I don't know why. I'd like to put my finger on that, because I wish they all were that easy. It just came out. That story just came out, but I don't know. She was a lot of fun because she was a sassy little thing, so defensive with that mouth. And
Yeah.
so that was
I think
her.
I love a beautiful disaster in a book. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I
Yeah.
love that. It's very relatable for me.
Well, sure, because most people look like they're all put together and they're pretty and they got their shit together and they're a mess inside. And that is literally almost everyone walking down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay,
yeah.
for Penelope, if someone's a new reader to you, where should they start with your books?
Wow, that's always so hard to answer after like 40 books, which I can't even believe. I the book that I am sort of most known for actually released in 2014. It's called Step Brother Dearest. It was one of the earlier Step Brother books, but it really is one of my more popular books, and I feel like a lot of people find me through that book. Um, but gosh, there are just it depends on what you're in the mood for. I always tell people, there's Step Brother Dearest or Room Hate. Those two books were pretty popular books of mine. Of my co-written books, I also co-write with Vi Keeland. I feel like Hate Notes is one of our more popular co-written books, but there are like 18 of those books now too. So there's so many books to choose from. But I feel like I always ask people, what are you in the mood for? And then I'll tell them which book that they should read of mine.
So talk to me about the co-writing experience, because I have been a co-author with Angel Payne since that's how I started writing. And then we did two series together. Well, the second one we kind of stopped in the middle and I took it on, finished it myself. But what do you think about that? What do you think about that? Sorry, I'm so hot flashy today. So I'm like, now my clothing is sticking to me because I'm sweating it out down here. What do you think about co-writing versus writing independently? Like, do you have a preference? Do you like something about each one?
Yeah, I do think like I like each one for different reasons. The co-writing I feel like is a little bit easier because you're passing it back and forth like a ball, and the other person, that's how we do it at least. We take turns. So I
Right.
feel like she points me in the right direction that I'm going in. I don't have to think about where I'm going. So that's what I
Right.
like about co-writing. It's like, oh, okay, I have no choice but to start here. I don't have to sit here for 3 days and figure out where I'm going to move with the story.
Right, right, right,
Um, so that's what I love about it. Writing alone is obviously a much more solitary process, but at the same time, you get a little bit more freedom to, like, if I want to blow this thing up and like make it horrible, like
right,
I'm fully responsible. So I'm going to have all the
right.
fun myself, but I'm also fully responsible for it. So I feel like they're totally different. And I do love having the experience of both. I really feel like, I don't know, I've gotten used to doing both now. So I appreciate them both for different reasons.
Right, right. I found it very hard at first to write by myself because I was so used to having her there, almost like a safety net, and so I felt
Mhm.
it was very lonely at first,
Yeah, if I
and
had
it was,
started co-writing, I know I'd feel that way too.
yeah, it was like it was always a constant check, like, okay, I wrote this, you read it, you're going with it. Is that good? Is it a good spot? Like as you're going through it, where you write by yourself and you don't know till you turn it in for edits
Is this
if you
any
mess
good?
something up or not.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
honestly, I will get through an entire book and nobody's read it. Like I don't have
Yeah,
alpha
same.
reader,
No,
and I'm like, tell me I'm sitting there with 80,000 words and I'm like, oh no. Like what if this is not any good? It happens to me every
I
single time.
usually hit that at like 50,000 words. I'm like, this sucks. What
I've
the
gone
hell am
too
I even
far.
doing? Yeah. And that's when I'm like, I want to give it to a beta reader at that point, but that I always make myself finish it first because,
Yeah.
I actually don't want to be influenced by
Yes.
beta readers. I want the reassurance, but I don't want to be told how to write it for
No,
sure. I don't
I've
know.
had
That sounds
author
shitty.
friends that I've watched with a lot of different, like many different beta readers, and I've seen how confused they've gotten and how
Right.
stressful it was. And it's
Right.
like, if I had ever considered it just by watching their experiences, I was like, no, that's not going to
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
because there's no right answer. And when
Right.
you have differing voices, that's like a recipe for disaster.
Right. And at the end of the day, it's my story. I'm telling it
Yeah.
how I want to tell it. And maybe it's not for everybody, whatever. Like
And
obviously I
you're the
want to
one
be
that's going
told,
to get blamed in the reviews if people don't
and I
like
want to be
it.
told that if something isn't flowing right, or hey, there's a continuity error, like here or there, whatever. But I don't really at that point want to hear, I wish it would have ended this way. Okay,
Yeah.
well, it didn't. Sorry.
Right. So
You know,
it's for me, it would just make it a lot more stressful.
yeah, I agree. I usually just keep it to like one or two people, check.
Yeah.
And it's already
Like
gone into
after
edits, but
it's
it's just
done.
like it.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. I have like my 2 or 3 initial readers who get it before like advanced review copy type readers. So like mine goes to the editor, then it goes to 2 proofers, and then it go kind of while it's in with the 2 proofers, it goes to my earliest readers, one of whom is my
Right,
co-author Vi Keeland, who's also sort
right,
of like, you can call her my critique partner as well.
right,
But we
right.
don't share it while we're writing our solo books, only after.
Are you guys geographically close?
We are about a few hours drive away from each other. She's in New York and I'm in Rhode Island, but the
Yeah,
majority of our relationship has been online. Like
right.
we probably didn't even see each other in person for like the first 2 or 3 years we were working together, even though we were only a few hours away.
Mm.
We've seen each other now probably a good like 10 to 12 times, but
Right.
yeah, but so not terribly far.
I don't even see Angel, and we're maybe, what is it? Maybe 45 miles, Megan, you think about that?
Yeah.
But life, people are busy, and
Yeah.
she's got a kiddo in college, and it's just everyone's
Oh,
going in different directions all the time. So
exactly.
Well,
So
and
I
the
can't
traffic
believe
there is
it.
so terrible.
Dude, it's so bad. Oh.
Okay, this is a fun one. Who is your celebrity crush for both of you?
mine is Matt Bomer. You know who he is?
Yeah, he's a cutie.
When I first saw his face, I was pretty sure it like launched my like imagination. Like it was like right around the time before I started writing, and I kept envisioning him as Christian Grey. And you know,
Yeah.
he was like one of those people like who was on the short list of like who you'd
He
see in
was,
like,
right? I was going to say
right.
that. I think he
Yeah.
was trying for the part, right?
I basically like I fell in love with like reading romance when 50 Shades came out, and I fell in love with like Matt Bomer like right around that same time. And like I just remember when I was first writing in the early days, I would only imagine him. So he's definitely my strong celebrity crush.
Yeah. He's a good looking guy too.
My readers
I
know.
like, um, I like Sean O'Pry is a very
Mhm.
good looking guy. He's always my first answer. And then Austin Butler,
Oh yeah.
which is
Yeah.
old enough to be his mother, which I don't know say about that, but he is a good looking guy.
Yeah,
Very
he is.
good looking guy.
What about you, Megan? Are you going to answer the question?
I
Oh my
know.
gosh.
I want to hear your celebrity crush there.
Okay. I think my wife will agree with me on this, that from Bridgerton, it's the Duke.
Yeah.
As far as like, just everyday average crush, it's Shakira.
Okay.
Interesting. Shakira.
Isn't that funny? It's so weird. I don't know. I just love her so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
She's a spicy.
Miranda's
She looks like
laughing in the
she's got a
background.
temper. I don't know. I don't know why I get that vibe from her.
She's just laughing. So my wife always watches this every month. She gets excited to watch, and she's like literally right behind me on the bed, and I just hear her laughing with her headphones on. So
Did she not know that about Shakira?
no, she knows about Shakira. The Duke, we kind of both laughed about. We were like, yeah, he's a pretty good looking guy. Because we're watching Bridgerton right now, so
Right.
we were both kind of making fun of each other for liking him. I mean, I generally don't find like men that attractive. I just
Right.
don't. Um, and that's why I love reading romance, because I have like book boyfriends, even though I don't feel like it's the same. I'm not like seeing them, so I can just make them up to however I want them to be.
Right.
But
Right.
like TV and celebrities, I just usually don't find them too attractive. So
Well, now I've got to dig into this deeper because you know how my brain works. Do you feel like when you read a hetero romance that
uh
in your mind you're putting a female in that character more so, or like assigning like those characteristics to any female, or it's still a guy?
no, it's still a guy.
Yeah.
Like I was reading a book where there's like a farmer, and I was like surprised that I thought, not that I don't know how to describe it. I'm not like attracted to them, but I
Right.
could see the
I can
attraction.
relate. I can relate. It's the same exact thing because I'm not a gay male, but if I read MM, I
Oh,
Uh-huh.
can
dude,
still
I know.
feel what they feel, and I
Yeah.
still experience it, even though I'm not
Right.
a gay, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
totally,
For me, with being a heterosexual woman, reading male male for some reason is so freaking hot. And I think there's like this taboo thing there. I
yeah.
don't know. I don't know. Plus, it always feels very like voyeuristic to me,
Yes,
which
I was just thinking about voyeuristic. Yep.
yeah. And so yeah,
As a
there's some
voyeur, I
space
can
there.
appreciate all things as a voyeur.
Right.
Doesn't
Just
have
the
anything to do
beauty
with
of
me.
their bodies and the connection and the strength. And I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot there.
It's
Exactly.
also
I'll be
fascinating,
there.
isn't
Yeah.
it? Okay, I think we have time for one more question, then we'll do a giveaway. But for both of you, what are your summer plans?
I'm not going
I'm
to do
seeing
any.
Tyler Henry.
Oh yeah, you said that at the beginning. I don't actually have any. I'm to try to stay sane. And to try to basically just find a little bit of time to not write and work and just rest and be. I don't have any trips or anything. Just to kind of stay
Is
safe.
your son in high school?
My son just graduated from high school. He's heading to Boston University actually,
Yeah.
in the fall.
Yeah.
And yeah, so my daughter thankfully goes to school year round, but she does have a
Right.
couple of weeks off in the summer. So just about kind of staying sane during those weeks and
Right.
get him ready to go to school, getting
Yeah.
him packed up and ready to go.
Yeah, that's your adventure of the summer. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
You think
yeah.
you'll be crying and stuff or
No, I think because he's actually not going to be too far. It's just far enough that he won't be able to come home all the time, but like it's really only an hour and a half drive. So
right,
like I feel very fortunate that I don't have to like I can definitely go visit him if I really miss him that much, and that's a good
right.
feeling. Although he's not going to want me there, but it's just mentally it's easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're probably right. Huh. So we're gonna do some giveaways, ma'am.
Yeah, I have a paperback to give away, a signed paperback. This is my book Moody. It's a book about a woman who is a massage therapist, and she shows up to this guy's home, and he's this very mysterious guy. He calls her for a massage, but then he never wants her to actually massage him, and he doesn't want to be touched. And she starts unraveling these mysteries about him, and she finds out that actually his calling her there was not exactly a coincidence. And so the mystery sort of unravels. So
Interesting. I is this on audio?
it is. It's Sebastian York and Andy Arndt, and it is on audio. All of my books are. So
I'm
I
putting
will
it
give
on
away this
my
signed copy of Moody to
list.
one of the lucky viewers.
Nice. So it's like I can do their choice. It's fine, whatever they want. There's a few things I don't have, but we can check in with the person and, narrow it down.
Okay.
But
I was just Googling what's Matt Balmer because I had no idea who that is.
Bomer, yeah. So Bomer. He's actually gay and married in real life, so he's not interested in me. But he is. I just think he.
he's
You need to
gorgeous. He's a
watch
handsome guy.
this show called Fellow Travelers, and it's actually with the guy from Bridgerton, Jonathan Bailey.
Uh-huh.
Um, that's a really great show. It's called Fellow Travelers. It's on Showtime, I
I'll
think.
have to watch that.
But he's most known for White Collar, which was a show on USA like 10 or 12 years ago. That's how he kind of got
Wasn't
it.
was he a Superman at one point? No.
He was actually talked about to be a Superman, and he thinks he actually lost that role because he came out, and he
Oh,
thinks that's why he lost it.
that
But
might be why I'm
basically, he was
associating with that.
considered for some role of Superman at some point. Um, and I guess it fell through. But he's been in a lot of things now.
Yeah, yeah. And he's aging very nicely.
Oh, I like him better now. Like even better.
Last time I saw him, I was like, oh my gosh, he looks
Yeah,
like
a
he's
little bit
actually
of like gray
18, but
scruff.
yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah,
perfect. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, well, okay, let's say who the winners are. I was getting ready to say
Sorry,
goodbye.
Miranda was like, "Can you put that tab over more? I want to see what he looks like." Okay. For Penelope, it's Sarah, and for Victoria, it's Tina. So either myself or Amy will be in touch with you
Perfect.
about getting the prizes, and then we'll let you know, Penelope, who to send it to.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you so much for spending some time with me
Oh,
this
this is my
evening.
pleasure. I've seen these
Great chatting with
before,
you.
and
Yeah,
I've watched a few of them, and I'm like, oh, this looks like so much fun. So when
yeah.
she
It's
contacted me,
funny. So we started doing this during COVID because I was lonely. Just be honest, I was lonely and I had breast cancer, and so I was really, in a bad spot and just where are my girls? Because this community, these are my friends, my extended family, and we all couldn't see each other. And so we started doing these, and it's just gone on from there. But now I see a lot of different authors, it's popping up like, oh, even Tosca Musk is doing one now with, the Passion Flicks. She's interviewing, and I'm like, hey, what a novel idea. I've been doing
oh,
it
it's
for
a lot
what,
of fun, and
4 years.
I love talking about the industry and about books and everything. And I don't get a lot of opportunities to. I feel like I like to talk about it. So
Yeah.
if somebody asks, I'm there.
I literally can talk about anything with anyone. So it's not, people are always like, aren't you nervous? I'm like, no, it's like nothing. It's like chatting with a friend. That's all.
Yeah.
And now we're friends. We have new friends today.
Yes, very happy about that.
Yeah. All right. Well, everyone, goodbye. Enjoy the rest of this month, and we'll see you in July, hopefully. And stay cool because it is
Bye,
damn hot
everybody.
here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. See you guys next month. Bye.
Bye.